Good afternoon, people, and welcome back to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real, bringing you a Friday edition to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. We are really excited about this show. We have a lot of information that we're going to cover with you. Some of it's really light, some of it's heavy, and then some of it's just kind of right down sad. But we're going to go ahead and jump right in with, of course, the news coming out of Boston, which is Aron Hernandez was indicted on 6 counts. One of them being first-degree murder and another one being weapons charges. Now, this is the sad part because now that he's indicted, they are actually saying without a doubt that they are pursuing these charges against him specifically. See, before this all went down, we were like, okay, is he involved? Is he not? Are they going to press charges? Are they not? Does he have something to do with it? Did he not? Now this is all of the speculation is over. It is official. He has been charged with this crime and other crimes along with it. So it's pretty sad to say because now the ball is rolling that the attorneys or the district attorney and the state and the city are going after him with both barrels. So that's pretty sad to say because this trial is going to take months and months and months of our time. But I guarantee people are going to be following it because they want to see, is Aron Hernandez going to go down for these charges? Only time will tell. And, if he did it, he did it. If he didn't, just cops don't start planning and trying to push evidence and force things to happen. If you built your case and he is guilty, then the stuff should just flow in fluidly. It shouldn't have to be forced to try to make something stick on this guy. So again, we'll have to sit back with the rest of the world and see what happens in this trial. Now, moving on to actual on-the-field football news, it's been reported that Antonio Cromartie he's not playing around. He actually laid out one of his fellow teammates during practice drills earlier this week. Now, we got to look at it like this. People are complaining that Antonio Cromartie is too physical, that he doesn't take the practices lightly, that he's full board going after people, whether it's practice, his own teammates, or on the field. How do you all think about that? Us personally here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, we have to say it's about time someone on the Jets actually takes this sport seriously and the way it should be played seriously. Now, I know he shouldn't be ripping his own teammates' heads off during practice drills, but seeing a little fire in his eyes, seeing a little fire lit up underneath this guy that he's actually playing 100% with the intentions to hurt people, there's a difference. We didn't say injure, we said hurt people. For real, and we got to applaud this guy. The Jets have been a laughingstock for about a year through all last season and through this off season. Maybe the guy's tired of it. Maybe he's like, you know what, this season I'm going to go out there, lay it all on the line, and I hope people follow me and we do something this year because I'm tired of being laughed at. Could be that case, who knows? Time will tell. But you let us know. How do you feel? Is he going too hard? Should he be taking practices lightly? Should he be taking practices not as serious, and or should he not be playing with so much vigor in his play? We don't know. We'd love to hear from you. Give us comments, feedback on that, and we'll talk about it on Tuesday's show. Also, the Seahawks. Man, the Seahawks are looking nasty in the preseason, and I know it's just preseason, so we can't put too much weight to it. But my gosh, I am going to be watching these guys all season long. In my fantasy, I will have some of their players on my team, so of course you have to follow that. But just look out for the Seahawks, folks. These guys are going to be contenders at the end of the year. Mark my words, put it on the calendar. The Seahawks will be someone to deal with when it comes playoff time. Now, in lighter news in the NFL, before we get into another subject here, we have to say this story is coming out of Arizona. A season ticket holder named John Coulter, him and his 15-year-old son got booted out of a game last week when he went to take a snapshot with his photo camera cell phone and reached over and handed his 15-year-old son his beer to say, hey, hold on to this for a second, so he could take a good shot with his cell phone. Upon doing so, 2 undercover officers for the liquor and licensing department kind of just accosted these 2 guys and booted them out of the game. Now, this is all we're going to say about this. Are we saying that we advocate, or that we're advocates for drinking underage? Are we saying that we're advocates for minors drinking? No. This is not even the case that people, when I hear people start talking like that, I just want to smack somebody, because that's not what happened here, folks. What happened is a parent, an adult parent of this young man asked him to please hold his beer cup while he took a photograph of the field. He did not say, hey, here you go, son, chug it up, let's see how much you can drink, or hey, take it down like it's a 40 or a shot of tequila. He asked his son, of 15 years old, to hold his beverage while he took a shot for 10 seconds, maybe even less than that, and the guy gets booted. Then the story goes on even further. Let's see here. Sergeant Wesley Cole of the same Arizona Department of Liquor and License said that Mr. Coulter is lucky that he didn't get 2 years of prison, a $2,500 fine, and 3 years probation. This is the problem with our country, folks. The government, the city officials, the police, the FBI, the CIA, whatever, all the different types of agencies that are in our world right now are screwing up just normal people. They're screwing up the balance of nature, the balance of society, because they're morons and idiots running these and working in these departments. Okay, if they saw the young man take a drink of the alcoholic beverage, hey, you got a case. Grab him, snag him, throw him out. If he's holding his father's beverage while you see the man taking a picture, the man sits down and retrieves his beverage from his son, and that's all that happened. What is the problem? What is the big crime here? It is about time that people, I don't know what we're going to do as a community, as a people, because we're no longer allowed to punish our kids. We're no longer allowed to teach our kids what we feel are important lessons. We are no longer allowed as parents and as adults to just influence these kids in any positive way unless the government or city or police or all these different department officials say that it's okay. So their way is the right way, our way is the wrong way. I don't know about any of you out there in YouTube land, but when I was 10 years old, I used to get sent in from my uncles, aunts, parents, grandparents, whoever was smoking at the time would give us $5 and ask us to run into the grocery store or a convenience store and buy a pack of cigarettes for them. Now, did they say, hey, by the way, if you buy these cigarettes for us, we'll spot you a couple of them. Hey, by the way, on your way out, go ahead and light one up and enjoy it while you walk back to the vehicle. Or did they even at the least go, hey, when we get home, for you running that errand for me, I'll spot you half a pack so you can smoke them. No, they did not do that. But we were the golfers. We were the ones that went in the store, bought cigarettes, bought drinks, bought whatever. Just like in the home, hey, if the remote control was broken, hey, Junior, Sally, Manny, whoever was there, get up off your butt, off the floor, off the couch, off the chair, whatever, go change the channel. That's just what was part of being a kid was about back in the day. Didn't mean they abused us, didn't mean that they were trying to teach us bad things. It was just being a kid back in the day. So, personally, all we're going to say on this subject, and then I'm going to get off my soapbox. This Sergeant Wesley Cole is a moron. This guy does not deserve to have a badge or does not deserve to be in the department or the head of the department if he is going to threaten a guy who hands his 15-year-old son a beverage in a cup to hold while he took a picture of the football game. That is can't even say what I want to say about that. That is what is wrong with our country. People, government need to stay out of our homes, out of the way we raise our kids, and out of how we treat our kids, as long as it's not abuse. If you call that abuse, then you know what, folks? I don't know where you come from or what planet you're from. That is not abuse. There are so many kids being abused right now and deserve the protection of our government, and instead of doing so, they're worrying about this kind of stuff. Don't worry about the kids that are buried in the, locked up in cages in the basement and that are being tortured and truly abused. Let's worry about a father who takes his son to a freaking football game and has him to hold his cup while he takes a picture, and they're going to harass these guys. Our world, it's almost over, folks. When stuff like that's an issue, it's almost over. What else can I say about it? Mr. John Coulter, you are a parent. I would have probably did the same thing, just like millions of other parents have probably done in the past. Hey, son, go grab me a beer out of the fridge. What, I deserve to go to prison for that? I deserve to get a $2,500 fine for that? I deserve to have my son taken away from me and my home and our family because we asked a kid to grab a beer out of the fridge? Please, give me a break. I'm going to leave it with that. Let us know what you think. Is it right or is it wrong? We'll sit back and we'll wait for your feedback, and we'll talk about it on next show. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to cut away. We're going to come back, and we have something special for you all. We're working on it right now, so check out this commercial. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, wow, the stuff in the Player Zone is so cool. Oh, wow, they got Magic, sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think I see comic books back there. And the Player Zone will even price this stuff for free. Oh, wow. Player Zone will buy, sell, and trade any of this stuff. And what can I get for her?
All right, folks, welcome back from the break. Again, I'm Jay Real, and we are going to do something we haven't done for about, a handful of shows, and it's called the Raza Connection. And what that is we go out and we find people in the community and just wherever we can get a hold of them, and they tell us what's going on in our world. Right here in Ruidoso, New Mexico, what's going on, whether it be with sports, entertainment, something going on. And we snagged Matt right here. Hey, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Good, man. What we have some big horse races here through the season. And what does the season usually consist of?
Well, the season here at Ruidoso Downs consists of live horse racing, thoroughbred and quarter horses from Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day weekend. And with Labor Day weekend approaching and being closing weekend, we have some very exciting race action coming up.
All right. Now, when does the season start typically?
The season typically starts on Memorial Day weekend.
Okay, Memorial Day weekend, and then when is the big race?
Well, the big race all goes down on Monday, the 2nd of September, and that will be the All-American Futurity.
All right. So now what we're going to do with Matt, we snagged him in because this is our professional horse race expert. And we want to hear some of your top picks. Give us what you got.
Well, coming up for this weekend, there's a few horses that really interest me. On Friday, we'll go to the second race, number 5, Call a Fast Corona. This horse is going to 350 yards and moving to the barn of J.J. Gonzalez.
Oh, wow.
Got a nice price at 5-1 morning line, and I think this horse, probably anyway in your exacta top 2, would be a good bet.
Okay, now, for us, not familiar with the terms of some of this, what is a 5-1?
Well, 5-1 is the ratio of dollars that you'll win if his odds that horse wins.
Oh.
So for every $1 bet, you're going to make $5 if that horse crosses the line first.
Okay, and what's the 350?
350 yards is the distance that this horse is running.
Oh.
And it's not quite the classic quarter horse distance of 440, which you'll see in the All-American Fraternity.
Okay.
But it's a very common distance and a distance that I really think Call a Fast Corona is going to enjoy.
Okay. Cool. So there you go, folks. He's breaking it down, horse racing. All right, cool. What's up?
Well, we will move to Saturday, and for anybody that wants to come out to the Saturday card, the weather is expected to be perfect. Race number 6, there's a horse that I really like. His name is Go Regard Go. He's going to be breaking from the 7 post and has very strong connections. Now, he's going to be running in a maiden race for the first time, which is a maiden race would be a maiden race would be filled with horses that have never won a race. So this horse is cutting back in class. He's been racing against horses that have won multiple races and made a lot of money, and he cuts back into a field with non-winners. And I think this horse is ready for a big race. Okay, and so now what's the odds on this guy? This horse's morning line odds are 4-1. I kind of expect this horse to get some play at the window, so just because your program says 4-1, make sure you pay close attention to that tote board because it can differ. You know, if there's some late play on this horse, he can get bet down to 2-1, you know, which you wouldn't make as much money if you bet him, but he's got a lot of support from the public.
Okay. And that horse's name is what again?
That horse's name is going to be Go Regard Go.
Okay. Folks, be sure you're taking notes on this because he knows what he's talking about. If you want to make a little extra cash, write these numbers down. All right, what else you got there?
Well, Sunday is going to be a real special day for me personally because I have a horse in myself. And that's going to be kicking off in the first race at 1 o'clock Sunday. You're going to want to go to the 10 horse, Flash's Best Splash. I've had this horse in my barn here at Ruidoso since the beginning of the meet, and the horse is really training good. This is another horse that's cutting back from a race against winners to a maiden race, which horses really should appreciate the class relief that this horse has just been missing at stakes level races. Cutting back to a maiden race, I really think will be beneficial, and this horse should really fire big on Sunday.
All right, and now this is your personal...
This is my personal horse. You know, I got my top rider on, and we're breaking from post number 10, so I'm sure if you've watched the races out there, you know that when you're breaking from the outside post, if the horse has a little bit of speed, they got a pretty good chance to win. Okay, now that we got folks, we talk any kind of sports here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I mean, we've talked soccer, we've talked disc golf, now we got horse racing. I mean, you cannot believe what we got going on here. So now that I got an expert in here, how do the horses, in your opinion, if you have a horse racing, and do they want to go on the outside, or do they want to stay on the inside, or where's the best positioning for a horse to either make a move, or stay in a race, or come back from behind? Or? Well, typically on quarter horse races, which we really specialize here at Ruidoso Downs, if your horse lacks gate speed and is not really getting away from the gates or the blocks on top, you want to be on the outside so you can stay clear of that traffic trouble. If your horse has enough speed and you feel like can break fast enough away from the gates, it really doesn't matter what post position they're in, Jay. It's just a matter of good luck and everything going right.
You're a rider, right?
You need a good rider, that's for sure.
All right, folks. Again, this weekend here in Ruidoso, New Mexico, if you're going to be in town or if you're going to be in the surrounding area, you definitely want to come check out the Ruidoso Downs races for this weekend. Now, we have a few more weeks left of racing, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we're getting down to the end here, and this last weekend is going to be something real special to witness. We've got on Monday, closing day, which is Labor Day, the 2nd, we've got a race worth $2.6 million, and it's called the All-American Fraternity. Now, if you guys out there are into beer, money, and sexy girls, there's going to be plenty of them out there at the racetrack that weekend.
You heard it right here. Now, you don't mind kicking back in a few more times before the big end of the race, right?
No, I'd love to. You know, this is going to be, this All-American Fraternity is going to be a big chance for somebody to hit a lick. And if there's a horse that you like, you're going to get your odds in this kind of race.
Well, that's awesome, folks. Like I told you, right here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, we don't mess around. We try to bring in the people that know the sport that they're in and what they're talking about, and you just heard it right here. Money to be made, cool beverages, you know, bring the suntan lotion, because every time I go, I end up getting burnt to a crisp. But we're going to go ahead and cut away to a break, but we're going to see him again at least 2 or 3 more times before the end of the races or the end of the racing season. But man, thank you so much for jumping in.
No problem, Jay. It was a lot of fun.
All right, we'll see you on the flip side, so don't go anywhere. We got to do our wrap-up, and then we'll let you get out. All right, folks, welcome back from the break again. Jay Real here with you with the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. And man, that Matt dude, he knows his horse racing. He's been doing it for many, many years. He's involved in it. His family's involved in it. And right here in the Raza Connection, we were so lucky to have him come in studio, check us out, get in the house with us, and talk to you about horse racing. Now, if you're like me, I didn't understand about half of it, but over the next couple of weeks, I think I'm going to get really into it because, just like you all out there, I like making money and I like, small wagers. I don't want to lose my house or anything, but a couple of bucks here and there, it's a good time, it's fun. Take your family and just enjoy a nice afternoon together out there at the horse races on the Ruidoso Downs. So, again, Matt, thank you for coming on board, coming in the house, giving us your cuts on horse racing. So we're going to go ahead and go to our wrap-up. We got to do our top three, fantasy wide receivers for this season. Now, we've covered our running backs and our quarterbacks. And this show, we're going to talk receivers. Now, our third pick he could actually be higher on the list, folks. It's kind of up to preference. It's kind of up to how you feel about stats and things like that. But our third pick is A.J. Green from Cincinnati Bengals. He just seems to be moving up the draft board. Last year had a phenomenal season, really put a lot of points on the board for fantasy owners. And this year I think he's going to even do better than last year. And with Andy Dalton, their quarterback, growing, maturing, you can expect some big points from A.J. Green. Moving to the second spot for fantasy wide receivers, we're going to go with Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant has always been that kind of lone wolf. You just kind of don't know what you're going to get from him, but our insiders here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show just feel that he's going to really produce some big numbers and get some big touchdowns numbers there as well for the Dallas Cowboys. And, man, I hope Tony Romo don't blow it and just start, just decreasing and causing them issues right away. If he can actually step up this year, deliver the ball with a little accuracy, get down the field, Dez Bryant's going to be that guy to be there to receive it. So Dez Bryant's going number 2 for us. And then our top pick, of course, you cannot go wrong with Calvin Johnson. That's right. Detroit number 1 receiver. He's been there at the top for the last couple of seasons, and we expect him to be there at the end of this season as well. When Matt Stafford finally getting into his own, throwing for, we expect over 4,000 yards, his number 1 receiver, Calvin Johnson, is going to be the majority beneficiary of those yards and touchdowns. So there it is, Calvin Johnson 1, Dez Bryant 2, and A.J. Green 3. If you have any debates, any discussions, any conflicts with our top 3 picks for this show, comments, feedback, we'll discuss them. We'll call you. You can call us however you want to do it. We want to hear from you all so we can get the feedback from our YouTube fans and viewers on our picks for fantasy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. The last thing we're going to talk about is NBA. We just had a little news come in on the wire very end, and that's Gary Payton. I'm sure he's going to be a Hall of Famer someday, retired now. Had his top 3 of all-time players of NBA picks, and of course, just like any hater in the NBA that played against the man, Michael Jordan was left off of his list, his top 3 list. And this is all we got to say about it here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. And it's coming from J Real right here. Who freaking cares about what Gary Payton thinks? Yeah, the guy was a phenomenal player. Yeah, the guy played many years. And the guy, again, will probably make it in the Hall of Fame someday. But you know what? When it comes down to it, he's not even in the same category as Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact, Michael Jordan's tears up here, and Gary Payton somewhere in the basement digging an outhouse, or an in-house as we would call it, for, it's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, folks. Gary Payton, of course, is going to leave Michael Jordan off the list. You know why? Because Gary Payton had to sit around and stand by and watch Michael Jordan fly his way into 6 NBA championships, and some of them getting snagged out of the hands of Gary Payton. So, folks, just like I'm sure many of you, again, leave feedback and comments. Let us know if you think we're full of crap. We can take it. We're big boys. let us know what you think, because we personally are like Gary Payton. Who cares what he has to say about the greatest players of all time? We all know Michael Jordan is the #1 player. Anyone that makes an actual, true-to-heart, factual list would have to have Michael Jordan in that top 3 list, if not #1, of all-time greats on any player on the earth. So, with that said, we got to thank the Player Zone, again, hooking us up with the house, hooking us up with all this cool stuff. Again, comic books. They just had guys coming in and buying vintage comic books from the 60s and the 50s. That's right, folks, comic books from the 50s and 60s. That's just amazing to me. That's history. They got sports cards, memorabilia, autographs, jerseys, you name it, they got it. Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, all of the good card gaming supplies. I mean, what else? Where else could you need to go for that big kid like myself and so many others, or little kids? So we've got to thank Player Zone, and then Right on Time, Aron and Delivery Service. Those are our big sponsors. And we got to thank Matt for coming in and talking horse racing. I mean, what will we not cover, folks, for you? We cover whatever we can. And Matt, thank you for stepping in on the Raza Connection and doing that for us. We so much information. Learned a lot about horse racing in just that few minutes. So every time I can get this guy in here, we're going to learn something more about horse racing. But again, if you're in the area, stop by the Ruidoso Downs racetrack and check out the racing action this weekend. And until the end of the season, again, September 2nd. But for right now, Jay Real's going to say, hey, we love the show. It was fun bringing it to you. We hope you enjoyed the information. Leave and post your feedback and comments. We've already gone on the last show and read verbatim someone else's comments that left them, and we talked about them, we discussed them, and we'll do it for anybody, because that's what we're here for. We want you, the average Joe person, to get your voice across, get your cut heard, and talked about. So, for right now, Jay Real's going to sign out. Peace and much love. We'll see you on Tuesday's show. Have a great weekend, folks.
Jay